It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at recent news that was released saying that Kirkman confirms The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead crossover at New York Comic Con. So this has blown up, it's all over the place, and there's a lot of people saying different things. Some of them are true, some of them are not, so I'm just going to say exactly what Kirkman said, and then we can kind of talk about what he could potentially mean. So let's actually read what he said, and then I'll give my thoughts on what I think he means and, what I think about it. So he says there are 2 Walking Dead shows. I'm not going to name them. There's one character that's going to go from one show that I will not name and appear in the other show, which I will not name. So very ambiguous. We don't know exactly what he means. What's certain is that he's talking about The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, and one character is either going to go from Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, or from Fear the Walking Dead to Walking Dead. We just don't know. So if it's one character going from Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, that means that we are going to have someone's backstory in a way. So of course, because of the timeline, it wouldn't make sense if someone from Walking Dead goes to Fear the Walking Dead and for it not to be like a backstory kind of thing. So if that's the case, then it's definitely someone's backstory. Now, the characters that are candidates for that, off top of my head, I can think of Morales. I can't believe I'm saying this either, but fans have been asking for him. I don't know why, but they have, and this could be kind of like fan service to them. And it could be the case that Morales is going to go there. And, that could be where they're going with it. The other case is that someone from Fear is going to appear on Walking Dead, which means that we're going to see someone leave Fear the Walking Dead and go full-time to The Walking Dead. Because it wouldn't make sense for them to kind of go back and forth, or for them to go and make an appearance and then go back because of the timeline issue. So that's what that's going to look like. In terms of who the character might be, if that happens, there's a few characters that could potentially take that spot. Tobias is one of them. If you remember, he was one of the school kids that kind of left. So it could be Tobias. He could be an interesting character for them to kind of bring on The Walking Dead. Although they're going to have to explain a little bit in terms of, how he ended up on the East Coast. Because obviously he was in Los Angeles on the West Coast. The other thing that I want to talk about is that whatever the case may be, I'm not a big fan of this crossover thing. Mainly because I think that Fear has to stand by its own, and adding this kind of crossover idea or this scenario will again make us think of Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead as one thing, which I want them to stay away from. And also, I don't think that this is beneficial to anyone in terms of rating. If someone from Fear goes to Walking Dead full-time, then, Fear is going to drop in ratings. Because obviously, fans don't think that Fear is good enough for its characters to be on the show itself and have to move on to the other show. And if it's the other way around, then, it could be looked at as a way for The Walking Dead to help the companion show. And again, that could make Walking Dead original drop in ratings because they're just doing it as fan service and a way for them to help Fear get better. But that's basically it. In terms of people saying that it's whispers and everything like that, that's not the case. I would definitely stop watching both shows if they make Madison and the group be the whispers. I just hate that idea. I definitely hate it. But in terms of overall, again, I am not a big fan of this kind of idea either. I know it's confirmed, obviously, but I'm not a big fan. And I hope whatever they do something where it's not just hype. Because it could be all hype, and when they reveal it, it could be an underwhelming reveal, and it could be an underwhelming character that appears on one of the shows. So I hope that whatever they do, it's not underwhelming, and it makes sense in terms of story, in terms of timeline and everything, so it's realistic, it makes sense, and it helps both shows. And it's not just fan service in a way for them to just have one character be crossing over, because obviously it was asked by a lot of fans for them to do something like this. But, I hope that it's not just a way for them to just do something so that both shows cross over in a way, and I hope it makes sense. That's all I can say. I'm a bit disappointed but what can we do? We're gonna have to wait and see what they do with this. Now, one other thing I wanna mention, they did release this kind of poster as well, which says "The worlds collide" with Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, which goes back to this news that Robert Kirkman said. So I think these two go hand in hand and everything. So this was on Walking Dead's Twitter and Instagram page and Facebook page as well. So they released it everywhere. Now, one other thing that's very interesting is that we have Walking Dead with Alexandria. If you take a look, that's the building from Alexandria. So does that mean someone from Alexandria is gonna cross over to Fear, or from Fear to come to Alexandria? That could be it, or it could just be kind of like a symbol for Walking Dead, because obviously Walking Dead is about Rick. Rick is at Alexandria, so we can't really say. But in terms of the whole idea, I'm not a big fan. But I want to know everybody's opinions about this. First, tell me whether you're a fan of this or not. And second, tell me which one you prefer. For a character from Walking Dead to cross over to Fear the Walking Dead, or for someone from Fear the Walking Dead to cross over to The Walking Dead. So share your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.